A good tool improves the way you work. A great tool improves the way you think.
Let me know that you about this. Put your money where your mouth is. Every single second counts enough to turn a little molehill into a mountain. Ain't no way to get around it. Ain't no time to be complacent. Cause life is 100 proof with no ice, so you better start chasing. Cause we all need a fix, so we're up in the mix like we're all in a blender. No, I will not miss, no, I will not switch, cause I will not surrender. Only got one agenda, only know one way. So you know it's dead real every time I open my mouth up and you hear me say.
Can I take a picture?
Yeah.
Got him.
Really?
Yeah. You mind if I grab a picture? He's so cute. Enjoy. Take care. You mind if I catch a portrait? You have such a cool look. I'm a street photographer. Actually, you know what? You're right. Let's do it this way. Perfect. Thank you so much. Hey everybody, welcome back. Believe it or not, this minimalist camera saves me thousands of dollars. If you haven't seen the video where I declare this my last camera, be sure to check that out next. Now, if you're a hobbyist or a professional photographer, you know firsthand that camera gear can become expensive very quickly, especially when you develop an appreciation for fast lenses and high quality and well-built cameras. Obviously, you don't need a high-end gear to get started in photography. You could most certainly begin with an entry-level kit. However, I would say that that's kind of like getting a 250cc motorcycle and quickly realizing you need more power to get away from traffic. Or getting a Tudor Black Bay, thinking that's going to satisfy your desire for the Submariner. Trust me, it doesn't end well. You might have heard the advice, buy once, cry once, or buy it for life, which suggests investing in top quality gear. I would reason that that's why I bought this M, but that's not the whole story. I purchased this M actually to save money. Now, before you all go roasting me in the comments, allow me to explain. Many of you understand where I'm going with this, while others would argue that if I wanted to save money, a Leica M or anything Leica is the last place I should be looking. Now, the concept of buying high quality to avoid regret or ensuring long-lasting use doesn't always hold true, does it? Often we start a hobby and we don't know if we're going to stick with it. And not every item of your craft needs to be of the highest quality. It might be more practical to begin with affordable options until you use those extensively and eventually wore those out. However, in certain cases, I will admit that investing in the highest quality is essential. You fill in your blank. My camera journey, if you will, started in high school. And I would say that if in 2016, if I practiced a little patience and save a little money, I could have brought my dream digital Leica M. But in present day, here I am. I now own this camera, and going forward, I will save thousands of dollars since it helps me break the cycle of gas. No, not that gas. But you get the point. For the longest, the price really got in the way, and I wasn't really processing what such a tool would bring to my work. I want to illustrate this by breaking down cameras in glass that I've bought over the years. So, my first camera was the Nikon D80. And at the time, I think I paid like $1,100 for this. Years later, I switched over to Canon because they were killing it. And I also got a lens. The camera was $3,000. The lens was like $1,800. Now, at that time, I really got into street, and the 5D was just too big for street. I was looking for something small that didn't compromise quality. Sound familiar? Oddly enough, I passed on the M262 and bought a Sony 6500 for $1,500 and a lens for another $1,800 and then another lens for $900. That camera served me well, but it lacked character. A few years later, I got the Sony A7 II for $2,500, a 35mm lens for $300. The Sony became my main video camera due to its superior autofocus capabilities. But for my photography, I kept going back to what my M6 felt like. But I knew I didn't want a film camera. Around that time, I had skipped on the M10. I got a used Fujifilm X100F for $700 just to see if I would like that menu system and if that's something that I could work with. I used that camera and something was not right with that camera, but I enjoyed the Fuji system. So in 2020, I got the brand new X100V for $13.99. But the fixed lens was too limiting for me at the time. Again, I looked into Leica and I skipped on the sweet M10P. I bought an Xpro 3 for about $2,000 and a 50mm for an additional $450. See the pattern here? I'm exhausted just thinking about it all. In total, I think I spent $17,490, give or take a few $100s on equipment. The lesson here is, if you want something, don't try to substitute. Save your money and practice a little patience. Looking back, I realized that if I had bought my Leica M10P in January of 2019, I could have stopped all the madness. But at the time, I was convinced that Leica M was too expensive. I could not see the trees for the forest. Hindsight being 2020, I finally course corrected and I bought my dream camera, the M11 Monochrom. It has enough megapixels, great battery life. I paired it with a stunning 35mm, and I don't feel the urge at all to buy every lens available. Even after 20 years of photography, this Leica has turned me into a true student of the craft. I plan on shooting exclusively with this 35mm for a full year, and I'll be making a final thoughts video regarding the 35mm when I come to the end of the run. To bring it all together, if there's something that you really want to achieve, don't settle. Make a plan and get after it. I no longer feel the need to chase the next hot camera. The M11 does everything I needed to do for my personal work into the foreseeable future. Someone in the comments said that it would be a little premature to rule out the improvements on the M12, 13, 14. But I live in the present, so nah, I'm good. Someone else commented how their love affair with the M9 is far from over. And I dig that. I think that if I had bought my M back then, I might feel the same. Hence, the point of this video. Besides, Leica launches about every 5 years with little upgrades here and there, not mentioning the variations in between. Most notably, megapixels, and the 60 megapixels on this M are more than enough for me. Now, if I had to mention that would turn my head, I would say weather sealing. I enjoy shooting in the rain and in the snow, so that would be a huge incentive for me to sell this M and upgrade. Will we ever see weather sealing on an M camera? Maybe, maybe not. But weather sealing is the most likely upgrade in my humble opinion. It's not a far-reaching thought since the Q3 is IP5S rated, meaning it's weather sealed. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with me? I do find it odd though that on the website for the Q3, weather sealing is not a feature that they highlight. Anyhow, if you found this video interesting or remotely entertaining, consider giving it a thumbs up. Maybe, possibly, subscribing. I'll see you all in my next video where I talk to another talented photographer about their craft. But until then, let's keep creating.